The sun beat down on the dusty earth of southern Zimbabwe, where the Mwenyezi River wound its way past villages and farms, giving life to the people who depended on it. On the surface, it looked calm, a ribbon of water glistening beneath the heat of the October sun in 2021. But beneath that still surface lurked danger older than mankind itself. In that quiet place, on an ordinary day, an extraordinary battle unfolded. And at its center was an 85-year-old grandmother who proved that courage knows no age. Her name was Rebecca Munkombwe, and when her granddaughter was dragged into the jaws of a crocodile, Rebecca did the unthinkable. She jumped into the water, armed with nothing but her bare hands. What followed became one of the most incredible survival stories of our time, a story of love, resilience, and a showdown between human willpower and one of the deadliest predators on Earth. Welcome back to Lore of the Multiverse, the channel where we uncover history's most incredible survival stories, chilling encounters, and unforgettable tales of human defiance against impossible odds. If you're new here, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a story. And tonight, we're stepping into the river with Rebecca, to witness the day an elderly grandmother went head-to-head with a crocodile, and won. Life along the Mwenyezi River is as old as the land itself. For generations, villagers have relied on the river for fishing, washing, and drinking water. Children laugh along its banks, families gather in the shade of trees, and mothers carry buckets of water home for cooking and cleaning. But everyone in those villages knows the truth: the river also belongs to the crocodiles. Crocodiles are ancient predators, virtually unchanged in 200 million years. They can wait motionless for hours, hidden just beneath the water's surface, until the moment prey comes close. Then, with lightning speed, they strike, clamping down with jaws strong enough to snap bone like twigs. Once they have their grip, they drag their victim under, spinning them in a brutal death roll, designed to drown and dismember. Few who are caught ever escape alive. Rebecca's granddaughter, like many children, grew up with these warnings. But on that October day, she walked to the river's edge to fetch water, not realizing that the stillness was a trap. The silence of the river was not peace, it was patience. Suddenly, the water exploded. A massive crocodile surged upward, jaws wide, and clamped onto her leg. The girl's scream pierced the air as the predator dragged her into the current, twisting, pulling, determined to drown her. She flailed helplessly, water filling her lungs as the beast tried to roll her under. It was then that Rebecca heard the cry. At 85, most people would freeze. Most would stand helpless, unable to imagine taking on such a creature. But Rebecca did not hesitate. Her granddaughter was in danger, and that meant there was only one choice. With a speed that stunned even her neighbors, she threw herself into the water, not caring that death itself was waiting there. The scene was chaos. The crocodile thrashed, its tail lashing the surface into froth, the girl's small body disappearing beneath the waves. Rebecca lunged forward, hands outstretched, and grabbed hold of the predator's rough, scaly head. Her fingers clawed desperately until they found the one weak point on the armored beast, its eyes. She jammed her thumbs into the sockets, gouging as hard as her strength would allow. The crocodile bellowed, a guttural roar that echoed across the river, and thrashed harder. Water surged around them as the beast tried to shake her loose, but she refused to let go. She was an old woman, her hands wrinkled and worn, but at that moment they were iron. The crocodile faltered. Its jaws loosened, just enough for the girl to wrench free. Gasping, she struggled to the surface, where villagers on the bank screamed for her to swim. Rebecca shoved her forward, forcing her toward safety. But the danger wasn't over. The crocodile turned its fury on Rebecca. It lunged, jaws snapping inches from her chest. She jabbed at its eyes again, kicking and striking with everything she had. She could feel the raw power of the beast, a strength that could tear her apart in an instant. But she didn't stop. She screamed at it, her voice carrying across the river like a war cry. For long seconds, it was a battle of wills, an apex predator honed by evolution versus a grandmother armed with nothing but love and defiance. Finally, the crocodile recoiled, vanishing beneath the water, defeated. The river fell silent once more. Rebecca, exhausted and bleeding, dragged herself to shore. Her granddaughter was already being pulled from the water by terrified relatives. Both were alive. Both had survived the jaws of death. The aftermath was raw. Rebecca's hands were torn and bleeding from gouging the crocodile's eyes. Her granddaughter's leg bore deep wounds where the teeth had punctured, scars that would remain for life. But they had survived something few ever do. When reporters later asked Rebecca what had driven her to leap into the river, her answer was simple. I had to save her. There was no hesitation, no second thought. To her, it wasn't bravery, it was love. Her story reverberated across Zimbabwe and beyond. Headlines called her the grandmother who fought a crocodile and won. Survival experts marveled at her instinct. Going for the eyes is one of the only ways to force a crocodile to release its grip, yet Rebecca had never studied wildlife behavior. She acted purely on instinct, and that instinct saved a life. But beyond the technique, what stunned the world was her resolve. At 85 years old, she should not have had the strength to fight an animal that has killed thousands across Africa. And yet she did. For her granddaughter, the memory will never fade. One moment she was certain she would die. The next, she was free, saved by the hands of the woman who had raised her, hands that had become weapons of survival in a moment of desperation. The story of Rebecca Munkombwe is more than just another tale of survival. It is a story about the power of love, the instinct to protect, and the truth that courage is not bound by age. We often imagine heroes as young, strong, and fearless. But sometimes, the fiercest warriors are grandmothers with wrinkled hands and iron hearts, who refuse to let those they love be taken from them. Rebecca's battle against the crocodile is a reminder to all of this. When the moment comes, when everything hangs by a thread, survival isn't about strength, it's about will. And that is the incredible true story of the 85-year-old grandmother who fought a crocodile with her bare hands. So I'll ask you, would you have had the courage to leap into that water? Could you face the jaws of death for someone you love? Let us know in the comments. If tonight's story moved you, or sent a chill down your spine, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another tale of survival, resilience, and the mysteries of the human spirit. Until next time, stay safe, stay strong, and remember, sometimes the greatest battles are fought not with weapons, but with love.